personality, such a great Vaishnavi, that she, although the pain inflicted on Dhruva was actually in connection to his connection with Sunniti. But Sunniti took the essence of the words of Suruchi in terms of this instruction that you should actually worship Lord. And that is something she focused on. And she very beautifully encouraged Dhruv Maharaj. First of all, she told that do not have any malice for anyone, do not feel envious of anyone, don't wish harm for anyone. And then she actually says that you should take the essence in form of go and worship the Supreme Lord. She will also give the example of Brahmaji and Swayambhav Manu, that they also worshipped and attained all great positions. And what type of ambition you have that cannot be attained by any other means except by the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this verse, she is again encouraging and she's saying, Vatsa, oh my dear child, take ashraya of Bhritya Vatsala, who is the Vatsal, who is actually Bhritya Vatsal, who is a Supreme Lord who is very kind. Vatsal actually comes from the word Vatsa. The Vatsa means bach and the calf. The calf, how calf is taken care by the cow, so the Lord is actually having Bhritya Vatsal, Bhritya Vatsalya. So that is the basis of her recommendation that he is Bhritya Vatsal. So if you take his shelter, then you will surely get what you want. And she also says, Mumukshu bhi mrikya padabja paddatim. Even mumukshus, those who are looking for liberation, they also take shelter of these lotus feet only. Ananya bhave, nija dharma bhavite. Doing your duties, but without any other deviation, manasya avasthapya. Place in your mind the Lord and bhajasva purusham. And execute his devotional service. So that is the verse. So in this verse, actually, Vishnu Chakri Thakur, Srila Prabhupada has taken a lot from Vishnu Chakri Thakur, and in this Vishnu Chakri Thakur's words are very beautiful. He brings out some important symptoms of the Lord's love for his devotee. So this Bhritya Vatsalta we will try to today. There are many other things which also we can. Prabhupada in the beginning he elaborates on that Nija Dharma Bhavita. So do your duty and then keep Krishna in the mind. Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha. And then he also goes on into Bhritya Vatsalta. So we will today focus on Bhritya Vatsalta, how Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has explained it. And there are many beautiful nuances to it. So we'll try to study that. So I will say the Sanskrit just to help those who wish to know that. So there are various components to this word Bhritya Vatsalta. So first he says, Vishnu Chakri Thakur says, Devta Antara Nirashaya Yat Kim Chidda Dosha Drishtaya Vimukhana Bhavishyate iti Bhritya Vatsalam iti. What he says, he is basically saying that please do not go to any other deity. Devta Antara Nirashaya. He does not want the devotee to go to any other devotee. So he wants to remove any doubt that one may have to go for some things to some other devotee. So for some other, demigod, not devotees. Sorry. One should not go to any other personality. One should approach the Supreme Lord. So yet kinchit, yat kinchit dosha drishtaya. So how does the Lord eliminate this? So if he sees any dosha, kinchit dosha drishtaya, vimukha na bhavishyati. He does not neglect that devotee, thinking that, oh, he has this defect, so I will neglect him. Sometimes devotees feel, Prabhuji, okay, I am praying to the Lord, but will the Lord really accept me? Because I have this problem, that problem. So don't doubt. Don't doubt that. Yat kinchit dosha drishtaya vimukha na bhavishyati. The Lord does not become vimukh. He does not turn away from his servant because of seeing some fault in him. So that is one feature of the Lord. And then, as Mother Sunniti, she says that and that millions of mothers. So that millions of mothers actually is not coming in the verse itself, but it is coming from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, where Mad Vidya like me, Matri Kotito api, millions of mothers like me, cannot equate the Vatsalyata of the Supreme Lord. Millions of mothers like me. So already in this world, the most selfless relationship with this world is of the mother towards the child. Of course, today that is also having its own problems coming up. People, mothers are aborting the child and all. But yeah, the most selfless relation in the Vedic culture, the mother's disposition toward the child is considered one of the most selfless ones. And here, mother is saying, mother like Sunniti is saying, that millions of mothers like me cannot love you as much as the Supreme Lord. So she is a very ideal mother. She is not saying that don't go to the Lord, just love me and I love you. No. Actually, she is wanting him to have affection for the Lord. And if because the child is automatically, because of the kind of service she has done, care she has given, the child has natural love for the mother. He knows that the mother has so much love for me. No one loves me like my mother. And if that mother says that millions of mothers like me cannot love you like the Supreme Lord, then the child will feel excited to go and meet that personality. So mother is giving like that, the assurance to the child. And then the next nuance which is said by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Ato dukkha gandham api na prapyasya iti bhava. She is saying that if you approach the Supreme Lord, you will not experience even the slightest trace of suffering. Why is she saying this? Because Dhruva is going through so much suffering right now. He has got insulted by his stepmother and he's very much aggrieved. But Mother Sunniti has no way to actually relieve him of that suffering. She is saying that I am Durbhagya, I am misfortunate. I cannot do anything about your father or the stepmother, and so I live in this misfortune. But if you go to the Supreme Lord, you will never experience any sufferings. Dukkha gandham api. You will not face any trace of suffering also by approaching the Supreme Lord. And then she goes on to say that mumukshubhi. So even the mumukshus look for the those who are aspiring for liberation. They also approach. Not only those who are material desire, even someone who is looking for liberation, he also goes to the Supreme Lord only. So the greatest of the people who are the liberation is one of the like even those who have attained the highest things of this world are not able to attain liberation. But even beyond beyond the karmis or those who are desiring something mundane are the liberated people or those who are looking for liberation. Even they worship the Supreme Lord. So you should surely worship the Lord. And then she's one more feature which she says, Vatsa word she uses. So Vatsa word she is not using just to say that you are my child. Actually, she is saying that you are a 5-year-old child. So for you, you can't do all the Karam Kandi program. And so they are very laborious programs. But devotional service is very simple to perform. So you can do the activities of devotional service. So kindly do them very nicely. And then she says, one more beautiful nuance which this Bhajasva Purusham. So there he says that Swantastam evatam na deshantarad anayam iti uktam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that by the word Purusham, she is indicating that he is already situated within one's own heart. So it's not that you will have to go to some other place, you can very easily worship him. He's here only. He's here with you, so you can worship. So this way, there are certain traits of the Lord's disposition towards his devotee, which make it very easy for the devotee to worship him. He is not going to see the faults of the devotee. Rather, he will just look forward to help him. So there is another beautiful verse which comes in Dhruva section in the prayers, where again this analogy comes of the cow and the calf. So we'll study that also, and then based on this total thing, you'll try to appreciate. So this is 4.9.17. Satyashisho hi bhagavam stava pada padmam ashisha tathanubhajata purusharthamurte apyeva marya bhagavan paripati dinan vashreva vatsakam anugrah katarosman. So Dhruv Maharaj prays to the Supreme Lord after getting the darshan of the Supreme Lord. My Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benedictions. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king or lording it over a kingdom. So, Dhruv Maharaj is feeling great pain. The Lord is going to satisfy my material desire. So, he is telling that those who worship without desire, they are much better than those who worship for desire. And then he says, to the ignorant, uh, to the ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer. Just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. So cow is doing two things for the calf here in this Dhruv Maharaj says, supplying milk and also giving protection from any attack. So you are a causelessly merciful maintainer and you will do the same for me. In what way? That is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur there. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Anugraha Kataraha means that you are very eager to bestow your mercy. He is not going to wait that if he is very qualified, then only I will bestow mercy. No, you are Anugraha Katara. You are eager. Somehow I want to give mercy to this person. And then he says that someone may not understand devotion, pure devotion service, but he will give. So that is the meaning of nourishment. The cow is nourishing the child, calf. So the cow is eager to give mercy, give the nourishment in form of milk. Similarly, the Lord is actually eager to give him the sweetness of devotional service, the devotee, and that is the meaning of giving nourishment. And the other one is that she also protects the calf from all the wrong fellows. So that is actually basically the anarthas. So the Lord will protect us from all the anarthas and material desires in the case of Dhruv Maharaj. And one word which Dhruv Maharaj uses is ignorant. So the calf is ignorant. What is required for him, and what is the actually here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that calf is ignorant and does not consciously worship or serve the cow also, but still the cow will give milk. So that way the Lord is very merciful like a cow. So in the cow-calf analogy, we see, when the calf is born, the first thing that the cow does for the calf is actually she licks she first for a good time she is sniffing the child, the calf, and also licks the calf. So this is, of course, it enables the bonding with the calf. Immediately the calf understands that she cares for him, and she also is helping him get protected. Actually, there is certain fluids over the body of the calf which get cleansed off by the licking. So she is giving that protection. So calf does not know what does she need, what does he need, but the mother knows. So the initiation of the relationship is from the mother side. The calf is not going towards the mother, but the mother cow is going towards the child. Similarly, the Lord is eager to come towards the living entity. In fact, he never leaves the living entity. He is going around with him, even if he is saying bye-bye. Here in America, many people have dogs. So Prabhupada gives one analogy that a dog is taken by the master everywhere. And what does the dog do? He stands at one place and passes stool. And the master is waiting. He may be a multi-millionaire also, but he is waiting for the dog to pass stool. And like this dog is passing stool everywhere, but the master waits for him. He says, similarly, the Lord is going around with us and we are passing stool everywhere. This is what we are doing in this material world. Passing stool and urine everywhere. And the master is waiting that when will this person turn towards me. So the Lord is actually eager to show affection, and the relationship the calf understands eventually. Similarly, the Lord is giving mercy, but the devotee may rise to the idea eventually. So there is a beautiful verse in Brihad Bhagavatamrita where, when Prahlad Maharaj came to pacify Lord Narsinga, that time Narsingadev, he actually licks Prahlad Maharaj because he like a lioness licks the cub like that. So it says Vitrithishtena Brahmana Praritoya Shrimatpalamboja Nipatya Tishtannutthapyottamange karajam Dritvangeshu Shinarsingena Litra. After being requested by frightened Brahma, Prahlad fell at the lotus feet of Lord. Sri Narsingadev personally raised him, placed his lotus hand upon his head, and licked his lips. And then the commentary on this, Digdarshini commentary, Brihad Narsinga Purana quotes, Lileha tasya gatrani swapotasyeva kesari. Kesari means lioness. Swapotasya means her son, her cow. Lileha. So she is licking. So Narsingadev also licks. So actually Lord has such love, like the cow has for the calf or the lioness has for the cow. So this way the Lord actually allows the living entity to experience his love causelessly, even if the living entity is not having any affection in the beginning. So the other part is actually she nourishes the child with milk. So the milk of the cow comes because of affection for the calf only. In fact, it is the cowherd man. He actually places the calf nearby so that out of love for the calf, the cow will give milk. So it is not that milk is getting generated by a cow and then the calf gets it. The milk comes because of the love for the calf. So first is the affection and then is the milk. So similarly, the Lord has affection for every living entity, and thus He gives him so many ways nourishment by giving him the sweetness of devotional service. So here Dhruv Maharaj also did not come to take any sweetness or devotional service. He came for land and property. He came to get kingship over the above Brahmaji. But then Lord is eager to give the sweetness of bhakti to him. And then also, how does the cow give protection to the calf? So she always remains close to the calf. When the calf is born, calf is very small, but the cow will remain close to the calf, and she will follow the calf wherever the calf goes. And then she also responds very aggressively when if the calf is separated, immediately the cow becomes very disturbed. So this way she is very eager to protect. Similarly, the Lord is always eager to protect the devotee. He is always going with the living entity as the devotee. So even if the devotee is immature, he will not just give anything what he wants. So one feature of mother-son relationship is also mother will never give what the child wants, but mother will give what he needs. So Dhruv Maharaj also wanted something. He got that, but he got also protection in form of purification of heart. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is said, Ami vigye ei murkhe vishaya ke nendiva swacharnamrita diya vishaya bulaiva. He says that if someone comes to me with some other idea, then he may be murk, he may be fool, but I am not fool, I am intelligent. Ami vigya ei murk vishaya ke nendiva. How can I give him sense objects? Swacharnamrita diya. I will give him the sweetness of the lotus feet of mine. And that way he will forget the sense object. So that way also the mother acts out of, mother is trying to protect the child and she gives also nourishment to the child. In one sense, actually the milk also gives protection also. the nourishment and protection go together. In fact, the mother's milk is very high immunity producing milk. So the immunity, that's why the mother should give the milk to the child, then he will be healthy throughout the life, much healthier than otherwise. So the nourishment which we get in devotional service, that also protects us from hankering for anything else also. So in devotional service, more we are tasting the sweetness of devotional service, then naturally we will not look for the things of this world. Krishna pada padma ganda jai jana pai, Brahma lokadi sukha tare nahi bhai. Krishna pada padma ganda. One who has tasted the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, the smell of the fragrance from the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, then he will not be even attracted to the Brahma Loka also, the highest happiness of this world also. Not only this, see, mother is trying to be affectionate when the child is not affectionate. He is ignorant. She is not expecting any worship. She is selfless. She is nourishing him. She is protecting him. Not only that, the mother is ready to even sacrifice herself for the child. You will see in the pastime of Bahulavan, where mother cow actually, when one calf was going to be eaten by a tiger. So the cow mother, she said that you take my life, but you leave my calf. So the pastime goes very beautifully because later on, when she is about to leave the calf and go to be the food, she actually says to the tiger that please give me some time to give my last milk to the calf and then I'll come back to be your food. He said, how can I believe you? No. He says, no, I promise you I'll come. So she goes actually and she gives milk and then eventually she is coming back and she says, my dear child, you will never see me again. So the cow comes to be eaten by the tiger and the calf also comes in. Of course, finally Krishna does a special thing where the tiger also becomes very selfless, pure. So, but the Bahulavan pastime is all about this cow feeling so much for the calf that she's ready to be a food for the tiger to protect the calf. And Mother Uttara also, when the Brahmastra is not aimed at her, actually Brahmastra is so precise that it aims at the womb inside, the child in the womb, rather than the mother. Such precise operation. But Mother Uttara says that may this Brahmastra take my life, but my womb be saved. So this way also the Lord acts. Actually, now we will see some examples of Lord acting in Nritya for the devotee. So in this connection of even Lord ready to sacrifice his not life, he cannot sacrifice his life because he is such a he is never going to die, but taking it in different contexts. So when Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjun, so he is first of all taking a very humble position. In fact, Arjun says that, please place this chariot in the middle of the battle and the two armies. And that time he uses the word Achyuta. So Acharyas comment that he is infallible because he never fails in showing affection for his devotee. He is so affectionate to his devotee. And the next later on, when Bhishma is ready to kill Arjun, that time he has become so ferocious. The chariot is spoiled, finished. Everything is so. Arjun is going to die at the hand of Bhishma because Bhishma had taken a vow that the one who broke my vow. And the whole pastime goes a little longer. Duryodhana had actually asked, he had challenged Bhishma that you are actually having special affection for the Pandavas. That is why you are not ready to kill them. Otherwise, you are so powerful a warrior. He said, okay, tomorrow these 5 arrows will kill all the 5 Pandavas. And then Krishna knows everything. So Krishna sends Arjun to Duryodhana because Duryodhana had taken the arrows from Bhishma to preserve till next morning. So Arjun goes to Duryodhana's tent and in the night he says that one time I had saved your life, so you had given benediction that I can ask you anything. Okay, what do you want? You want kingdom in charity? You can take it. He said that I will win by war. But today you give those 5 arrows. 5 arrows? Huh? You know what the 5 arrows? Okay, now you have to. So he gave the 5 arrows. And then Bhishma comes to know that those 5 arrows are gone. Now I can't fulfill my vow. He's Bhishma known for vow. But because now his vow is broken by the supreme mystic personality Krishna, so he knows who has done this. So he says, the one who has made me break my vow, tomorrow he will have to break his vow to protect his devotee. So then Arjun is almost, like he's at the mercy of Bhishma. At that time, Krishna lifts the wheel of the chariot. So Arjuna is stopping him, but Krishna is running towards Bhishma. That beautiful picture is also made. And Lord Bhishma also is happy to just surrender to the Lord. So Lord protected Arjuna also, and Lord protected Bhishma's vow also. Because Bhishma has taken a vow that you will have to break your vow. So yes, I will break my vow for your pleasure. And I will also keep the reputation of Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakta Pranishati. In fact, he told this to Arjun because he said, if I tell that, people will not believe because I keep telling lies also. But if you tell, then people will believe because I never let my devotees' vow get broken. Satyam Vidatum Nija Kritya Bhashi. So Krishna is ready to break his vows also. So his reputation is at stake to protect his devotee. So he cannot die, but he is not having any reputation problem. He wants to be a servant. How Krishna acts as Bhakta Vatsal in other times. Of course, Dhruv Maharaj's pastime is surely he transformed his desire was for material thing, but Lord gave him the taste of devotion service. And then we also see in the pastime of Gajendra. Actually, in the Gajendra pastime, as soon as Gajendra lifted the lotus in the in the sky, and it said Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. As soon as he called out, so there is a beautiful verse in Padyavali which tells how did the Lord act. So before I tell that verse, I'll tell one more verse where actually Gajendra tells this nature of the Lord. Matrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namo lalaya swamshena sarvatanu vrin manasi pratita pratyak drishe bhagavate brihate namaste. So in this he says that you are mukta, and bhuri karunaya, you are very unlimitedly merciful. And one word which is beautifully mentioned there is alalaya. You are never inattentive or idle for the purpose of my deliverance. So in this connection, one verse is written in Padyavali by Srila Rupa Goswami ji, which is actually, Rupa Goswami has compiled it from many sources, and then he quotes. So this is Dakshinatya. So he says, Atendrita chamupati prahita hastam asvikrita pranita manipadukam kim iti mismitantapuram avahana parishkriyam patagarajam arohata kari pravrata brimhate bhagavatas tvarayai namaha. So in this verse, actually, this devotee, the Dakshinaya, he is actually glorifying the Tvara of the Lord. He is paying obeisances to Tvara means haste. Your haste is so much. How much is the haste of yours? Kari pravara brihmite. As soon as that Gajendra called out to you, what did he do? Atandrita. You were very, very, eager. So the first what happened, that actually the commander-in-chief, what was happening that time? Lord Vishnu was playing dice with Mother Lakshmi in Vaikuntha. And at that moment, actually Mother Lakshmi had lost the game of dice. So she was not agreeing, she was feeling like she was showing like she was running away. So that time Lord actually held her by the cloth, and she was not able to run away. And now that moment actually, who has called her? Gajendra called her. So he is running with the cloth in the hand, And Mother Lakshmi saying, "Arey, what are you? Where are you running?" Because there is no time to leave the cloth. And then he has no time to, he says, he did not accept the hand extended by the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief, he may put him on Garuda, but no, sir, I am going to climb on the Garuda. And then he did not even accept the jewel sandals. He went barefoot only. I am coming, in no time. And he did not care to decorate the vehicle also. Because Garuda must be beautiful, but still some decorations must be done. He forgot everything about his comfortable palace. What was the one thing which is in his heart? That I have to reach to Gajendra as soon as possible. In fact, in another verse it is mentioned that when Lord came, Garuda was going very slow. So Lord said, fast, fast, fast. Then Garuda said, this is max speed, no more. He said, forget it. So he took Garuda on his back and he reached the place like that. So that is the Twara of the Lord. So the Lord, the devotee is actually praying that I pay my obeisances to this Twara of yours. And then in another verse of Padyavali, which is by Autkalya, he says, Ya Draupadi Paritrane, Ya Gajendrasya Mokshane, Mayarte Karunamurte Satvara Kvagata Hare. He said, Ya Draupadi Paritrane, to deliver Draupadi when she was being disrespected in the assembly of the Kurus. You came all the way from Dwarka in a moment. You didn't even take your food, complete your food, you came in a moment. You had so much twara, you had so much haste. Ya Gajendrasya Mokshane. And when Gajendra had to be given deliverance, you came so fast. Mai Arte Karuna Murte. I am, oh Karuna Murti, you are seeing my Arte, my plight, my miserable plight. Sir, Twara, Kwa Gata, where is your haste, sir? Please come fast. You are seeing this fallen fellow, please kindly come fast. Where has your haste gone? That is, this is the prayer again in Padyavali quoted by Rupa Goswami. So the Lord is actually very eager to give mercy, and the devotee is very much happy that there is a personality like the Lord who is ready to give mercy, even if I am not so great. And that's why he can beg on this Bhakta Vatsalyata. And there's another word used in Deen Vatsal. Okay, you Bhakta Vatsal, but I am not Bhakta, then what? But Deen Vatsal also. So, okay, now I have hope. There is that verse also, Padyavali. When you tell that you are a lover of your devotees, I feel tremble in my heart. But when you say you are Deen Vatsal, then I feel very great hope. So there is one verse where the Bhakta is showing his Dhanyata in Padyavali, which is, I'll close with that one. So I don't know how to recite this, but I will mention. Ahare vadavana vanalas cha shayane ya kumbha karnayate sandeshe badira palayana viddau simha srigalo rane andor vastu nirikshane atha gamane khanja patu krandane bhagye naiva hi labhyate mama prabho evam vida sevaka. He says, in eating, I am like the inexhaustible Vadavanala fire. I eat a lot. In sleeping, I am like Kumbhkarna. In communication, I am deaf. You cannot communicate to me. I am deaf. You speak so many instructions, I don't hear. In running away from difficult situations, I am quick like a lion. And in battlefield, I am timid like a fox. In examining objects, I am blind. In walking, I am lame. And in crying, I am very quick. Oh my Lord, such a servant is obtained only after great good fortune. He is telling the Lord, please don't bank upon any qualification of mine. This is my state of affair. So now it's all about your Vatsalta, Deen Vatsalta, Bhakta Vatsalta. Begging on that quality of yours. I know, just like here Dhruv Maharaj, that verse it says that you give mercy to ignorant calf also. So please, you take care of me. So the Lord is actually Bhritya Vatsalta. So more we can dwell on this quality of the Lord. Like this, there are many wonderful qualities of the Lord, and more we dwell on the qualities, then our chanting becomes also more with the feeling of this is the personality I'm approaching, who is actually having so many wonderful divine qualities. And my case is under a good doctor. He's going to handle me with care, and he's expert how to solve my case. So we can pray to the Lord to help us in our life because He is Mrityavatsa. Hare Krishna. Any comments from the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis? Any question? Fine. Okay. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Close. So I didn't want to put it on record.